So, welcome everyone to this live stream. So I'm really excited about this. I have my new engraving tool. So I've engraved quite a lot of glasses here, and I have lots of different glasses to work on today. So I can't engrave them in the live stream. Oh, and I made a while I had the stream, but then I couldn't concentrate. Anyway, so welcome to the stream. I have lots and lots of different glasses that I have engraved, and I thought we'd go through quite a few of them. So I can show you kind of one after the other here. So I can't engrave them on the live stream, but what I can do is that I can continue painting them on the live stream. So I've engraved them now, and now we can add some paint and so on. So I have quite a few different ones. I'm not entirely sure how many we'll get through. Let's see. But the new tool is just so exciting, and there are things that I can do that I haven't been able to do so far. Like things like this, for instance. So this is all just engraved. There's no paint on this yet. And it's been so much fun to do. And I think here you can see the first northern lights as well that I've engraved. So they're not finished, they're just engraved with one go. And then there are lots of things to do. This one is the first one I think where I painted on as well. So this is kind of how it then begins to turn out once I've mixed the two. So let us see which one we start with. I think maybe the one with the snow. I think that might be fun. So I'm just going to put that in like so. And I'm just going to basically use black for almost anything that we do today. All of the candle glasses that I have are night candle glasses. Meaning that we just really need the shadow and the kind of the shape of things. So for instance, here I want to paint some of the branches and so on some of the trees and the needles and so on. So let's just start, and welcome everyone to the stream who's joining. Welcome Cute Animal Stones. Welcome to the stream. So glad to have you here. There are probably quite a few of you who are Miss Guinea Pig Lady I recognize. Lots more people that I should recognize. Let's see here. Let's just begin. I have to remember to go on this way. Yeah, I have my, not beer, but I have my tea here. And yeah, hopefully this is not too distracting. You can let me know if it's too much. I thought it might be fun. Okay, let's start. So what I wanted to do is, I have to get the right consistency of the paint here, is to not leave it like this. I mean, the candle glasses, of course, they could be finished just like this, but I would like to have more details and so on in the painting as well, not just engraved. Let's see if I can get some proper consistency to this paint. I need some really thick black lines here so that I can see it properly. It might be easier if we do something like this. It's really, really strong, this light. The candle. So you know in the winter, you can then often just see the stem, and then the branches have become completely white from frost or snow. That's kind of the effect I want here. So we need the stem to be quite thick and then really, really thin, smaller ones, and then it just turns white. So we don't need to do all of them. Just a few, just the kind of really thick ones. Thank you, Ivona, and welcome to the stream. So I got this tool like a week ago. Hur många kullerkladdar är det där? So Tiger asks how cold is it here, basically. So we have, I think, about 24 minus now. So it's quite cold. It is one of the colder places in Norway, and I'm pretty sure that minus 20 is kind of the normal, kind of mid-range temperature here in the winter. It's nowhere near the coldest it gets. So we managed to keep warm still. It's not a problem. But once it gets down to minus 30, let's see. So something like this. Yeah, so I just got this engraving tool, which basically, for those of you who don't know, engraving, this hasn't been painted. This has been etched out with basically, well, let's see, I have it here, but it's it's basically just a machine that you can hold and you can kind of chip away at the glass and the paint, and so the light shines through. Thank you, Elizabeth. Welcome to the stream. So yeah, I have lots and lots of candle glasses that I've engraved, and it's just added completely new dimension to glass painting. And the engraving tool was much easier to use than I had anticipated, and I can just start creating with it and creating things for the shop and so on right away. Welcome, Nat. I'm so glad to see you here. You mentioned that it might be too late. Hopefully it's not all that late for everyone, and I'm so glad to see you here. And once it's engraved, it just shines through, and then I can add the shadow afterwards. It's a very different process than how I've been painting so far. I've been wanting to do things like that, so I've been kind of just a very quick hello. That's fine. It's nice to see you here. Hi, Agata. Well, welcome to the stream. So I've been wanting to do something like this for ages, and I made northern lights and stars, but I've done it with adding a layer of paint, then removing the paint on the stars and so on, and then firing it in the kiln, adding a layer of paint, doing that like 10 times. And here, I don't need that. Das spezielles Glas beziehungsweise eine oder irgendwas darunter, generisch von aktuellen Bemalen. Sure, so the question is this a particular glass? What are the things before I paint? So it's just a normal candle glass. I can show you the different steps actually. So it starts like this. Just a normal candle glass, completely white, nothing very special. Then I paint one layer on it of paint and it looks like this. Then I add another layer and it gets a bit thicker, but basically the same. Then I use the ink. Oh, I just turned that light up. And then I use a sketching tool, an engraving tool, which is a diamond-headed. I'll get it. I'll show you. Let's see. I lost something here. And I can show you the tool. So this is it. It's an engraving tool. And that's been used to basically etch the paint away again, and even a bit of the glass, so it kind of gets this frosty look. And those are the 3 steps until we land it here now and can start painting properly on it. So it's a really, really fun way of doing it, and it opens up an enormous amount of possibilities. Was this the correct? No, this was not the correct brush. So I can kind of, you can use it for anything at all. I'm starting to learn snowflakes at the moment, and ice, of course, and you can do flowers and anything at all. And the nice thing is that means I'm not just adding layers as I've been doing so far. I can take things away again. Wow, I would love to to have that in our window. Well, very good, you can. It will be available soon. Oh, no problem. I like explaining these things. So please do ask. And welcome to the stream, Manny and Julian. So nice to see you here. Annie and Julian are, you should check out their YouTube. They make wonderful videos and live a little bit like we do up here in the north, but in Sweden. Would be great to see the engraving step maybe next time. I have thought about that. It makes an incredible racket, and the entire time I would have to have this on, so talking might be difficult. I will put this on YouTube, Cute Animal Stones, yes. So sadly I can't show you engraving live because it makes an incredible noise, I have to have a mask on because it does make glass dust. So I can only really show you this step in the live streams. I have a reel on my Instagram, and there you can see the engraving taking place. So the engraving would be really fun to have in the live stream, but then I would have to, well, probably not talk and and no sound. But for anyone who wants to do the next creative steps, that this tool is just incredible. There we are. Welcome everyone to the stream. Yeah, it's talked about this last time too, that it's nice to have these streams on Sunday evening, because that seems to be when people are available, basically. And yeah, for instance, these snowflakes I couldn't do until I had the tool, because every time I try to make snowflakes or something like that on glass with glass painting, everything you paint just gets darker. You can't use white to make a highlight or anything like that. Everything you paint just adds a darker layer. As I joined the live, I was admiring the glass. Your reflection gave me a jump scare. Well, this is just a test to see. Let me know if it's too distracting or strange. I've been wanting to have myself in the picture as well. So do let me know if that's something I should keep doing or if it's just too odd, and I can leave it out next time. So yeah, a lot of the things that I really wanted to do, I haven't been able to do so far. But with the tool, I'm probably going to be talking about the engraving tool the entire time. And I'm just so excited. Everything we're going to paint today is with that tool. Also, thanks for mentioning your painting streams on Lena's recent live stream. I didn't know you did this. Oh yeah. Yeah, it was nice to mention it there. That's probably why there are more people here too. How much did this tool cost? Do you plan on doing just frosted design versus also painting? I think I will always do some painting, especially just the background, but some of them are probably good just with the frosted design. And here I'm not doing much with painting. The tool cost about $130 or something, which wasn't really too bad. I mean, the professional engraving tools are much more expensive, and I can't see anything that they would be able to do that this couldn't. So it's a really good, well-designed tool, but it's usually not used for glass. I had to buy something extra for glass engraving. But yeah, $130. I thought that was a very good bargain. But it wasn't it's especially cheap tool or anything. That seems to be the price. Does the tool come at different pen thicknesses? So it does, but not for glass. So you have to buy those extra. So all the things that it came with, I can't use. I bought it through the place where I actually buy my glass painting, so they kind of knew what I needed. Hi Susan, welcome to the stream. So glad to see you here. It's always a bit special now to have the people that are in our painting course forum, where I spend quite a lot of time, and we basically chat almost every day, and have you here in the stream is really nice. That's a good price, I think. How much tips will you need? Oh, how many tips? So I only need... Wait, what? So I only need the one, actually. For everything I do here, I only need one tip. So that wasn't expensive at all. I assume I could do more things with more different tips, but for now, I've only used the one, and I don't need any more. But yeah, I thought it was a really good price. I had thought that it could cost like $1,000 or something like that. So I was really surprised, actually. One of the reasons why I didn't buy it, I knew that there might be some engraving possibilities, but I hadn't imagined that it would be this easy. Thank you, Mr. I'm going to take that as a compliment. And welcome everyone to the stream. It's lovely to see all the people here now. We're just going to work our way through. I think it'll probably be more interesting to see some of the other glasses, but we have so much time now that I'm just going to work my way through. This is a part of my work day anyway. And I really, really enjoy the effects of this, of the kind of the glowing snow, and then with the contrasts here. It's been so much fun. I haven't had anything completely new to learn in such a long time, ever since I started with glass painting, that it's been so fun to finally have something completely new. I always love that, to have something that I don't know how to work with or something like that, but then and then you learn it, and you can use all of your old skills with a new tool, with a new medium. And it just opens so many new doors and possibilities that I just go the entire day and think of different things I could be making and creating. Thank you, Elizabeth. Truly beautiful. Thank you so much. Yeah, so it's one of the things that I really love about this work, and the things that I do here is this possibility of just learning new things. I think that's why it never gets old either. How did you get the idea with the glass? It was much more of a crooked road than it probably should have been. So I mean, I suppose engraving glass is kind of a standard thing. But I started painting glass, and I wanted to make stars and the northern lights, which means that they have to shine through. And what I've been doing, as I said earlier, was I've just been adding layers and then removing small pieces of paint with a kind of a cotton tip, and then burning it again, and it's taken like a week to just create the stars. And I've been thinking so much about how to do this with different things. If there's paint that then burns away after you paint it, or what I could do. And I'm not entirely sure how I got to the engraving idea. I think I tried to use a nail in my desperation to remove some of the paint to get stars. That didn't work at all, and it cracked the glass, and it was just a horrible idea. But that got me onto the point that surely there are these machines. I've used it before with paper clay. And then I looked on the site where I buy my glass painting, and they had tools, and then I just called them, and they told me that this was the tool to use for glass engraving, and that they had everything that I needed. So that's kind of the story behind it. It's only taken me, well, 3, almost 4 years to get there, but I'm glad I learned everything else first. I probably wasn't entirely ready for this tool, but now I am so excited to have it. So I'm just going to paint my way through here. I mean, these live streams aren't meant to be extremely exciting, so I'm just going to stoically paint my way through, and then we'll get to one of the starry ones afterwards. What kind of paint do you need for the glass? Does it have to be burnt as a last step, or no, not just as a last step, it has to be burnt all the time? So it has to be burned at 550 degrees in a kiln, and for every glass that's finished, I at least have to burn it maybe 5-6 times. Every step you need to burn it, because you can't really paint on top of it. The paint doesn't dry. It's special glass paint, basically. It's you can't. There's paint that I use that I can't use for anything else than glass. It's bought especially for this, and I burn it in a kiln, and then it goes completely solid. It fuses with the glass, and then you can paint on top of it, and it stays there forever. So you can put it in a dishwasher. It sticks, basically. So yeah, you have to burn it, and you have to burn it quite a lot after every step. But then it's permanent. So it's a really good thing about it too, that it stays on. But that does make it a very particular way of painting, and you paint very much in layers. It's quite like porcelain painting. Just the process is different because the light source is from the wrong way. Feeling the same with me purchasing an iPad. I restarted drawing in 2018 digitally this spring, and iPad in October. So much more opportunity, building on what I've learned before. So much joy. Yeah, I love that. When something new appears and it just opens these creative windows and just adds to everything. And it's just a wonderful, wonderful time. Let's see, I'm not sure the stem should be dark, but we've kind of done that so far everywhere else. Well, let's do that. It doesn't have to be completely dark, just to get some structure. There's still so much to learn. I've only really started. It's kind of the fun part with this as well, because when you learn something new like this, there are things that you can't even imagine doing at the beginning. So I'm sure there are things that I'm going to learn that I have no idea that I am going to learn at the moment. Almost missed the stream. Hope you're having a great day. I am. So the stream's just begun, so you haven't missed anything yet. I have been creating these candle glasses and preparing a few extra ones, especially for the stream, so that I had lots. Now that I see it does take a little while to paint on them, so I'm not sure how many we're going to get through. But I did make a few extra ones that I thought it might be fun to paint on during the stream. But time flies by. It's already gone half an hour. And we're not really... Oh my. Well, that is of course the question, if we should just continue painting or if we should head on over to a new one. And I think we're going to do that. You've seen this, basically. What I really wanted to do is I wanted to work on the moon. Let's see where I have... They all look the same at this stage. There I have the Milky Way and the moon. I really wanted to work a little bit on that one in the stream. This is the one I prepared especially for the stream. It's so meditative watching you. Well, that's good that it's not that important. Let's see. I think this might have some dust on it still, so I'm gonna have to get that off. Let's see, this is gonna dry again. But there's some glass dust, that kind of, that needs to go away. There we are. So I painted the beginning of the Milky Way here, which is basically now just removed a lot of the paint, and I have to put that back again. So let's see here. Since it's wet now, it does have a little bit of a strange color. Let's see if we can't. There we are. Thank you, Julie. Okay. Okay, so here we have the Milky Way. It's really difficult to see it. Maybe if I kind of do something like this. Yeah, that is better. Is it dark because it's late at night or something else? You mean here? Yeah, it's late at night. Let's see if I can't get this a little bit higher up. Might be balancing a bit precariously, but I think something like that. It's there. I want to still be in the picture, but I want to have the Milky Way a little bit clearer. Thank you, Elizabeth. So, like so. And then we can add a little bit of that dark stripe that you have in the middle of the Milky Way. And then that has to be burned, and I have to go over it with the tool again. So I've never made the Milky, of course, and I've never done any of the things that I'm doing here. It's all new, but I'm hoping that this is gonna work. I probably should have made the night sky here darker, but there's not really anything I can do with that now. So not too dark there, just to have that dark stripe in the middle. And then I think I want some clouds. I didn't get this moon completely. What of course would be better is if I had this like so, but never mind. Oh, there we are. I have to, there you can probably see the Milky Way a little bit better too. So let's make a few other branches, and I'm just gonna do everything as I normally would to finish this. So as we did with the other one, we are going to do the branches, and let's see if we can do something like this. There's so much to think about in these live streams. I can see me now, and I can see that the phone is in front of me. I have to try to not be too much in that. There we are. From Eleni, it's very beautiful. She says thank you, and say thank you for me to Eleni. I'm so glad that you're both here. Can you also engrave wood with the tool, or plastic, or is it specifically for glass? So I think you can engrave all kinds of things with the tool. I know people use it for all kinds of different things, which is why I had to buy special engraving bits for the tool, because it's not specifically meant for glass at all. So I think it's a kind of an all-purpose tool, and you can engrave all kinds of things with it. I keep trying to consider what could be more interesting to watch. And while I really like this one, I actually think it would be much more pleasing to have this one. Looks like a little fairy world. Oh, that's nice. There we are. That looks much better on camera. I have to learn a little bit about what looks good on camera too with these engraved glasses. I think we're going to go through this one. And here we can do that. So we'll do the black branches and just go around the glass. And now I won't switch too much. Thank you, Betin. So what I wanted, yeah, this is exactly it. So to have the branches, this black color, and then we just have the very tips of the branches are frosted. I always love that in the winter when the fog comes in and the trees go completely white except for the trunks. suppose I could show a little bit of the engraving. I won't do it now, but I'll just have to make sure to turn the sound off and put my mask on, so it'll just be a bit of silent. But sometimes this stream gets silent anyway, so that might not be a problem. But I think it could show itself really nicely on screen. To do the engraving, because it's just incredibly satisfying. And I'm thinking now, I said I wasn't going to do it, but I mean, I still have let's see if I actually have. Oh, this is. I'm looking to see if I have a glass that hasn't been engraved. I've been so busy today that I've basically just engraved anything that's around me. And everything that I have looks very much finished. But I thought I had one candle glass that I hadn't fully engraved. Doesn't seem to be the case. Maybe we'll have to save that up for the next stream. But it is an incredibly satisfying process, and it actually goes really, really fast. I'm trying to see if there isn't something that I haven't engraved yet. My God, I've been busy today. Everything seems to... Well, let me know if you want to see the process, and I'll see if I can't find something that I haven't engraved yet. Then I would have to turn the sound off for a little while, though, because it's too extreme to inflict that upon you guys. Yes, curious. I'd like to see the process. Okay, I kind of thought that might be the case. Okay, well, yes, all right. All right, fine. Let's do this. Well, I can still, if not today, maybe. Well, we can do it today. Let's see. I have to turn off. Trying to think if I can turn off your just on your end, but let me know if you can't hear any sound. That's a good thing, so just give me a thumbs up if you can't hear anything, or just so I can talk now until I have the machine. So this is a glass. Let's see, I have to get my tool. Ready? This is a glass, and it has 2 layers of paint on it, maybe even 3. So the other one was really, really thin, and I didn't really like that. I have to get rid of my glass paint. It's quite a process, this. I had everything set up really nicely for the other stream. Let's see. Okay, to get the paints away. And okay, I won't be able to talk now. This is the tool, and I'll turn off the sound. Yep, there's a reason for that. This is the sound of the machine. Okay, let's get this off. I think that shows you a bit of the process. But and welcome to the stream, Insta. I just wanted to show everyone the engraving process. Let's see if I can get the light back on here. There we are. There I am. Let's get the paints back. It is really loud. So I usually have something really loud song or something on. And noise cancelling headphones so that I can't hear it. But there is just no way to have a quiet, nice stream. But now you know the process behind it. Let's see, where were we? We were painting on this one. Let's have to get everything correct again. So there we are. So now you know how this happened and how we got there. Yeah, it's a really noisy process, but it is incredibly satisfying. You're welcome. It was really fun. Even though I have to rearrange everything here. It was still a lot of fun to show you. And there we are. And welcome to the stream, Insta. Nice to have you here. Sorry about that. Yeah, and then you're welcome. So the result is then, well, this glass, and In peace and quiet, it is then possible to continue painting. So yeah, for anyone with neighbors or someone, well, it's loud. So you basically make all light parts by engraving and darken the shadow with, yes, exactly. So everything that light, everything here except for what I'm painting now, the black parts, is with the engraving tool. And that is the reason why it's such a revolutionary tool for me, because all of the light parts I couldn't make before. And I could only do it with the absence of paint. So the places where I didn't paint, they would be lighter. But that's not a very satisfying way of painting, and it's very difficult and time consuming. When did we start? I just joined. Welcome to the stream, Healing Better. We started about 45 minutes ago, but we're going to keep going for a while. So yeah, so all of these light parts are with the tool. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Every time I see this glass here, I wonder which plant that is. On the left of the feathered one, is it a tree? Or a little one? I wonder which plant that is on the left of the feathered one. Wait, what? Ah, in a tunnel. Yes, exactly. Very good. I saw the temperature and runners go back to minus 20. Yeah, they are now. They're at minus 24 outside. As I said before, that's apparently not terribly cold for this area. That's more normal. I thought the feathered one was grass. Oh, no. They're much bigger. I have one that looks a little bit like that. So I have one that we can do later, where we have grass and so on. I think that might be fun to do. But we're just going to work our way through this one first. Yeah, so the temperatures are about 20 minus now. But as I said, I don't actually think that is especially cold for this area. I have a suspicion that that's kind of the normal temperature, but we'll see. It might get it. There is a cold period in Norway at the moment, but I think minus 20 is quite usual. And it doesn't feel that cold anymore. It was actually worse in the beginning. Eventually you get used to it and it gets really dry, and it's fine. Really love the ground of the snow in this one. Looks like a snowstorm, like a wave. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I love that movement. The lowest temperature of Norway are in this area, right? Heard something about that. So, I mean, I think the absolutely lowest are in Kautokeino, up in the north on the plateau, in the tundra. But this is a close second. So some of the coldest temperatures I hear, yeah. In Poland, we have winter attack now. Yeah, that's the thing I'm talking about. I think there is a kind of a cold spell in most of... I'm not sure if it's just the northern parts of Europe. Hi, Lynn. Welcome to the stream. Nice to have you here. Yeah, the forecast for my home says minus 18 for tomorrow. Yeah, I think, yes, there is a cold spell going on everywhere. So here, I think those normal temperatures are not that abnormal, but I think for a lot of other places, there is very cold. How to cope with all the darkness in Norway? So the darkness usually doesn't bother me too much. Right now, I am getting a little bit tired. I'm sitting in a greenhouse now, so I'm getting all the light that I can. One way of coping, it's important to go out and get that little light that there is, so that your body just gets this signal that it is day, and actually gets that rhythm. If you're just inside the entire day, it can be really, really tiring. This technique, it's bezaubernd, kann man so schön gelegentlich einfangen. Schönste an einem Wintermorgen. Sorry you didn't know all the words in English. Well, I can. So this technique is magical. It's really wonderful that you can catch the light, and then the most wonderful light on the winter morning. I would like to buy. Oh, Miron Christian, welcome to the stream. Miron is part of our painting course now, which is very exciting. You can absolutely buy. These will be available for our New Year's launch, which will be, as the name suggests, around New Year. Probably a bit after New Year's, a few days at least. And all of these kind of glasses will be available as long as they're finished, and I think they will be then. 20 minus, I'm from France and never experienced such a thing. But we had some snow today, which was absolutely amazing. Yeah, I suppose if you've never experienced it, it does sound very extreme. But I actually found that I think what people think 20 minus is, that only really starts to happen after minus 30. So I think I've experienced down to minus 36, I think, minus 37. And after minus 34, something happens that then it hurts. So, but in Omiyakan in Russia, they have minus 52 to minus 48. Yeah, I think those temperatures. So after kind of minus 34, 35, it gets dangerous and it feels dangerous and you can it hurts. The second you open the door and you go outside, it actually hurts a bit. But minus 20 is not as bad as you'd think. It's really dry, so the cold doesn't creep in as it does if it's wet. And you do have to be really well clothed, but of course you are in these temperatures. So often I find that you're warmer at these temperatures than a little bit above. My coldest temperature, minus 26, which is quite cold too. But it's not at those temperatures where you just feel like the world is just out to kill you. That comes a bit later. Our neighbor, the one that we are renting from, he did mention that once it kind of gets down to minus 35 or something, you just want to stay inside and survive it. But we're not there yet, and these temperatures now are fine. So I walked outside with the dog today. He has his little vest and shoes, and as long as you keep moving, and you have a good warm jacket, it's fine. And the world just looks incredible. It's so inspiring outside now. There's so much that I would like to paint, all different ice formations and so on. And it just looks incredible. Yeah, most of the air is very dry when the temperature goes down to minus. Yeah, and that helps. If the air is wet, you get cold much, much faster. But when it's this cold, the entire lake is about to freeze now. And there's diamond dust in the sky, and it just looks and feels incredible. So I love these really cold temperatures. The sky just goes incredibly clear, and all of these snow crystals and different shapes and so on. It's just amazing, and especially here by the lake. The entire lake is steaming at the moment, releasing the rest of its warmth. And it's just so incredibly inspiring. And off of that, I have been learning snowflakes today, so I have a little bit. So to go really, 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 really close, and I can do that with the tool here, and just different ice formations and so on. So I think just from the walk today, I probably have 5-6 new things that I would like to paint. And from those, of course, there are hundreds of variations on a theme. Apparently, the record here is minus 52, though. I never experienced anything like that. So that might be a different story. Well, I am from west, maybe 1 hour from the Atlantic Ocean, so it means that having snow in a year seems incredible to my standards. Well, then I'm happy that you got a little bit of snow. In Holland, it's around 0 degrees, but lots of water in the air, so it felt colder than it actually is. And with that kind of cold, I sometimes think it feels much colder than minus 20 in a very uncomfortable way. So if anyone is kind of kept away from the north by these temperatures, it's not as bad as you'd think. And for anyone who is a little bit agoraphobic and kind of doesn't like too many people and in the city and so on, when it's really, really cold, everyone is just packed in their own little world, and it feels really safe, and it definitely has its benefits. we were at the Christmas market now, and it was about 20 minus. And it's just a really peaceful atmosphere. Everyone is just kind of busy staying warm. So I really like it. I'm kept away by all the darkness. Well, as for the darkness, I have to say I really like the darkness. It's incredibly cozy, and you're just really in your own little world. And now there's actually now the clouded sky, but we had a full moon now, and with the snow, it just feels like it's day. You can just walk out, and it's just incredibly light. And yeah, no, I get that with the darkness. I often find that the midnight sun is much more difficult to deal with. I mean, I can make a light here. I have wonderful, powerful lights up in my studio here, and you just really. Well, I think as a creative person, especially, it's wonderful to just have this calmness when most of the day is dark. I really enjoy this time of year. I always look forward to it. Christmas market in Röros, yeah, that it was just so incredibly lovely. It's the perfect town for a Christmas market. Those slim firs you're painting are so beautiful. We don't have them here. Oh yeah, they get slimmer and slimmer the further up you get. Especially near the tree line, they get really spindly and look more like this. I think while I paint from imagination, I always kind of end up with the things that I see around me. And that's kind of how they look when they start to have difficulties growing, basically. I see, it can push creativity, absolutely. And there we actually have been around once. So let's figure out which the next one should be. I think we could go much closer now. And let's work on one which is very close. Oh, I almost... I have to be careful here not to touch the paint. This has to go in the kiln. So, let's see. So here is one where we are much closer. So you would burn this one again. Yes. So this goes in the kiln, and then tomorrow I can continue. My biggest problem with the darkness is that I'm an outdoor person. But in this season it's dark, and I go to work and already, dark when I leave. So I think being self-employed really helps when it's this dark. Because I can work when it's dark, and then I can ski and be outside when it's light. So I get that problem. Is it then finished, or is another step required? So this one is... I'm not entirely sure if it is finished. I haven't really decided that. I think it has to be burnt, and then maybe I would like to have some plants a little bit closer. But it might be finished. I don't have to do anything else. I have to burn it a few more times because I want the bottom to be dark, but that has nothing to do with the painting. So this is probably something I would have liked to do the other way around. So I would have liked to have the plants first, I think, and then to kind of frost them. But I did it the other way around, so we have to paint the leaves in, and then we can just leave the frost on the other side. So this is basically just like a coloring book right now. Because what I want, we can get this even a bit closer, I think. And then I did kind of want me in the picture, in the frame. What I really wanted to do here is to have the plants and then just kind of have a little bit of a frost on the leaves. So what I'm basically just going to do, I'm just going to go around here and add a little bit of color into it, just to give it a little bit more shadow and so on. And then we're going to leave the frosting on it. And so the often you burn it, the darker it gets, even if you don't paint again. Oh no, nothing happens if you burn it and you haven't painted. So I need to paint the bottom a few times so that it gets darker. If I just burn it, nothing happens at all. I do have to paint on it every time. But I'm very happy with my job. Sometimes I go outside and sometimes in the office. Oh, that's very good. Do you paint the backgrounds of the cups or do they arrive already in different colors? So no, I paint those. They come completely, well, they don't come completely clear when I burn, but they are completely clear. They have a little bit different colors, but that just burns away. So basically they come without colors, is what I'm trying to say. I love it how we can see how you get inspired by nature at your places. Very good. Yeah, I really do. And it always sneaks its way into my paintings. So there's so much new here. So I have never done anything like this before, but so basically I'm figuring this out as I go along here. All of these kind of glasses, this is the first time I've been engraving at all, and I haven't really painted on things that I've engraved before. So all of this is kind of just it's a learning process, basically. But I think that's nice. So you can see the kind of frosting on it, but I like adding a little bit of shadow onto the plants. This is just, as I say, this is really a process that I'm going to have to work on. That frost adds more magic. Yeah, I really like the frost here. Already different things between your paintings from Hemsedal. This is true, yeah. Fun that you see that. Well, I have to go. Wish you all a nice evening. Good, nice evening to you, Agatha. It was nice to have you here. Hi, I've never visited your streams. It's nice to be here for the first time. Nice to have you here. Yeah, I'm so glad to see that more and more people are joining these streams. It's really nice to have you guys here. So for those of you who don't know, these have been engraved, and now I'm basically painting them in. So we're basically witnessing your learning process with this new method. Absolutely. So all of this is very new, completely new actually, and I'm just taking you guys along for this. I probably could have tried to do this a few times before, but I was just so excited to show off. So the new tool and these new things. I couldn't have been painting on anything else right now. So yeah, I'm just taking you guys along for the process of learning here. So I'm just basically trying things out. I engraved this morning, and my plan was to then fill it in. I can see that it's probably better to do it the other way around, to just paint it black first and then to engrave it. But now that it's done, we're just going to do it like this. Your engravings are really beautiful. Such a nice effect. Thank you. Yeah, I'm really pleased with the tool. As you can probably hear, because I just can't shut up about it. And I'm so excited to figure out all the different things that it can do. Because I'm sure that I've only scratched the surface. I've only had it for a week. But it's surprisingly much like painting. I thought I would spend a lot of time figuring out how it works and so on, but it's a really natural tool to use. Thank you for sharing with us. You're very welcome. I thank you for being here and sharing and allowing me to share. Welcome, Fräulein Green. Welcome to the stream. This could probably be a little bit more interesting, but never mind. It's new, and I'll figure out what kind of things are the most fun to watch. Will you be adding more colors, or will this be black and white? I think a lot of these will be just black and white. These are nighttime kind of glasses. I'm going to be doing engraving on other kind of glasses too, with more orange sky and so on. So it's just because this is nighttime that it's like this. But I could do engraving just as well on an orange sky, on a white glass, for instance. It's still gonna shine through, because even a white color will look quite dark. The more white I add, basically, the darker it looks. And once you engrave it, then it'll shine through. So you can do this with a painting that's just midday too. So that's going to be the next project. I have a few candle glasses here. I can show you guys. These I painted... Oh, this is not good with the light, but I painted these this morning, and these are going in a kiln. And then tomorrow I can start painting on those. And that's going to be interesting. I've only painted on nighttime once so far. We can start with the northern lights here together as well. But I think the day ones are going to be cool. There's not just moon, I can do the sun. For instance, and that can really shine and be radiant and make a sunset or a sunrise. So that's going to be the next project. I can start with that tomorrow. And I think next Sunday I might be gone. I'll have to see for Christmas times. Maybe I'll sneak in the live streams at different times then. But next time we have a live stream, I'm sure I can show you lots of other things too that we can do with the engraving tool. As I say, I'm just really at the beginning with it. Here we can fill in the color of the birch. That really annoyed me. I couldn't really do birches on glass because everything you paint, even if it's dark, even if it's white or a highlight, it just all goes dark. But yeah, so and of course in spring, lots of flowers and so on. So there are going to be lots and lots of colors, just that these are nighttime candle glasses, and so they won't have any. It's okay to take a break, enjoy your Christmas holidays. Well, the thing is that kind of Christmas time and New Year's and so on are kind of our busiest times when people want gifts and so on. So my break is usually at the time when nothing's happening. So of course in summertime people aren't really buying that much, and kind of around February, March it kind of goes quiet. But for the holidays and so on now, I'm probably going to be quite busy. And candle glasses, they really do sell best at this time of year. Of course. Will he glaze to prevent fraying? Now you just gave me a scare, because I have no idea what you mean. Maybe there is something that I should be doing that I'm not. As I said, I'm new to this. If you know something, I don't. So this is going to be put in a kiln. I'm not sure if you mean that. I have no idea what fraying is. I probably should have researched this more. I only know glazing from porcelain. I don't know that from glass painting. Do you mean that it chips off or something like that? I'm really terrified that I'm making mistakes now. So if you have some insights into glass painting, please do share them with me. I haven't sold any of these yet. Yes, they do, and I'm very glad they do. So no negative words for me for people buying too many presents and so on. I'm very glad that people do. You get a different perspective when you start selling things. Of course, people shouldn't just waste their money and spend, but I don't think it's a waste on these kinds of things. Let's see, I think that looks quite nice. And then at some point I have so many different things to do. I'm going to put this away. I'm going to continue with the next one. I really wanted to show you that one too, and maybe we can even get to the Northern Lights one. I can continue these in my own time. Here yes, I've already started the forest. I'm just going to continue that basically. So I just made the forest with a really rough sketch first, and then I can make the tiny little details. So we'll just move this even closer. Something like so. So relaxing to watch, just what I needed this evening. Very, very good. I'm glad. So this is really detail work. I really wanted the trees here to be really, really detailed. And then I can see here how that looks. Thank you. Making some Christmas decorations for felt while watching a stream. It's so hygge this one. That's wonderful. Can all use more hygge in our lives, and I'm glad to provide it. You might want to use the different brush. So I don't want to go completely crazy with the details, then we're going to stay there forever. But I want the details to be quite fine here. Thank you, everyone. I really appreciate that. According to the dictionary, fraying is ausfransen and does not mean engraving, but the color, it seems. Oh, then you might mean porcelain painting or something. For this is the color is burnt in a kiln, so I haven't had any problems with glass painting. There is some problem sometimes with porcelain, and you might mean with oil painting. There you do have to put to kind of so no new danger. Very good. Okay, let's just leave it at that. It's porcelain. There can be problems with the paint peeling off if it's not burned at the right temperature, but I haven't had any problems with the paint on glass so far. So you gave me a fright, but I'm hopeful that there is no new danger here. These new things that you learn, there are always unforeseen dangers and so on, especially when you're learning it on your own, as I do. There are mistakes that you just stupid mistakes that can come. What sort of paint are you using? I don't know much about painting. So I'm using glass painting. It comes in powders, and then I have different oils that I mix it with for the consistency. So it's a special kind of paint, bought from people from a company that basically just does glass and porcelain paint. So it's a particular paint, and then you burn it at 600 degrees, 500-600 degrees Celsius, and then it fuses with the glass, so there's no danger of anything happening after that. I hope. It's just it hasn't happened so far, at least. Yeah. So I suppose when you burn it in the kiln and it fuses with the glass, that's kind of the step. With oil painting, I use varnish to keep it, and here you burn it in the kiln. So the paint doesn't dry at all ever, unless you burn it. So if I would just give you this glass like this, you could just touch it and the paint would go off. Even if you had it for years, that would happen. It never ever dries. But once you have it in the kiln and it burns, then it fuses with the glass, and you can put it in a dishwasher and you can do whatever you want with it, and the paint will stay on. I hope. well, it's been that way so far, so that's kind of the idea. I made so many horrible and strange mistakes with this. Since I'm learning everything on my own, it's been quite a journey. But after a few years now, most of the mistakes I hope I have already gone through. And I'm very much someone who learns through mistakes, and I've made a lot of them. I've melted, I think, 10,000 crowns worth of candle glasses just in one go for the wrong temperature, and sometimes you put it in the kiln and all the paint just kind of falls down and completely ruins it, and so on. So many mistakes that is possible to do when you learn something like this on your own. But I hope I've gone through most of them. Every new medium that you do has some kind of unique mistakes that you can only really make with that one. So I always loved this effect with the starry sky and then the silhouettes of the trees in front. Learning from mistakes is such a good thing, but making mistakes is so annoying. Yeah, that's the problem. You just have to try to make the mistakes as fast as you possibly can to kind of get them over with, and then you can kind of go ahead with your day. And I suppose if I learned this from someone who's been doing that their entire lives, of course they could let you know about all of the mistakes that you can make. But I've never learned really well in that way. I kind of need to make them on my own. But I suppose there are some things that it would have been nice to have a teacher. And I wanted to say hi to everyone from Lena. She is working on the newest video, which is going to be a day in the life video. And it's already turning out really well. And I'm really excited for you to see it. I think she already talked a little bit about it in the live stream. Great detail, Joachim. I finally moved to the mountains of Greece, and it's like living at your in your art classes. Thank Lena as well. We love your videos. Very good. I will. Mountains of Greece. That does sound wonderful. I can't wait for the new video from Lena. Yeah, it's gonna come out, well, I'm not gonna say when, but soonish, I think. And yeah, I'm really excited for this one. Okay, so this is going to take a while to to go through, and I might stop at some point and we can do a little bit of work on the Northern Lights one, and then that's probably it for this evening, but we still have some time. think the stream started at 8. That sounds about right. But I've gotten a lot done already. It always seems that it would take forever to kind of go through the entire glass in this speed, but then it actually doesn't take as long as you'd think. How did you react or feel when something like that happens and work gets destroyed by mistakes? Did you get angry, sad, laugh about it, or did you just stay calm? Oh, a little bit of everything. I have a little nice panic at first, and then, well, there are different reactions. I mean, when all of the candle glasses melted in my kiln, I just had this kind of sinking feeling, and I just kind of had to let it happen. And I heard them cracking for a few hours before I could actually open the lid, because it had to cool down, which was quite horrible. I usually try to kind of laugh it off and not to take it too seriously, but it can get incredibly frustrating if it happens again and again, the same kind of thing. I'm not someone who gets really very angry at things like that, but I can get this kind of sinking feeling, and then I can kind of see what I've lost, and then I do try to, and I laugh about it, and it's all right. Welcome, Krasi, to the stream. Nice to see you here. I hope that you're done with church, and yeah, we did talk about that this time is a better time. Oh no, I forgot, and I'm quite late. Well, actually, we're going to keep going for a little while yet. We did discuss this in, I think, not the last stream, but the one before that, what time would be best for everyone. And it does seem that this time is good. More people seem to join the Sunday evening live streams than any other time. I was training my trees up until 20 minutes ago. Training your trees? Bonsai? Or is there a garden you're trimming? I can't seem to get satisfied. Well, next time. But you joined us here, and I'm really glad to see you in the stream. Krasi is now trained. Oh, you. I was wondering, what on earth are you talking about? Yeah, so Krasi is doing the painting course, and she has been working on painting trees. For the painting that you paint in the course, and she's part of the forum there as well. So now we actually see a lot more of those that are part of the course, and it's such a joy to have that forum where I get to see the things that you create. And so Krasi is working on the details for the trees. And it's so much fun to see the paintings coming now. Lena is working on the gallery. It's turning out really nicely. It's going to be published soon on our webpage. So those are the paintings that those that take the course, when they have finished a painting or two, they can upload it, and we post it and in a gallery. And so that's what Lena is doing as well at the moment. Is creating that gallery, because we have 2 people now that are finished with their paintings, and they're going to be the first paintings in the gallery. It seems so easy when you do it. I think I'm finding a pattern that comes natural for me, but it's different from your way. So we will see. Oh, well, that's good. Find your own way of doing it. I can understand that. All this work, a nice result, must be so sad of losing. Yeah, but we're glad you always keep going. Yeah, absolutely. And also with these trees and so on, I mean, as I say in the course too, this is the thing that I'm doing now, which might seem relaxed. That is one of the most difficult things with painting. This kind of really, really tiny, detail-oriented, very, very fine lines, knowing where everything goes. It really is one of the most difficult things. And it's taken me ages to get to the stage where I am now, and I'm sure it could be even finer. So sometimes you can just use a brush. I mean, if you could, for instance here, I could, and a lot of painters do, I could just use a different kind of brush and just do this. And there you already have your trees. And from far away, that looks just as good as anything else I'm doing here. So a lot of the things that I'm doing is kind of just my preference. And I really like the fact that you can go incredibly close, but it's not necessary. So you can see the trees fine here. And then I'm just going over it and I'm doing all of this unnecessary, very, very, very fine little lines. But a lot of that is just because I love doing it. It's not something that's necessary. And even photorealists that paint much more realistic paintings than I do don't bother with these kind of details. Because it's not necessary. It often looks more real without them. But I find it fun, and so I do them, but it's not necessary. It's definitely not necessary for it to look realistic or anything like that. I realized I just started doing a painting course here, which wasn't necessarily my intention, but I'm just so excited about the course, and so yeah, well, why not? Hi Joachim, hi Andreas, welcome to the stream, nice to see you here. Yes, I understand, but I tried anyway. Very good, Chris. And I mean, it's wonderful. I mean, keep going. It's such a joy to do it, and if you just keep at it, it's amazing how quickly your hand then eventually gets used to it. So of course, I heartily encourage painting in this way, and because it's so much fun and it's so meditative, and you can really just hone in on tiny little details and get lost in them, and you can create huge landscapes on a very, very small surface. So of course I love this way of painting, which is why I kept that in the course. Even if it's a beginner's course, I still put those things in it. So if you want a challenge, and you seem to be up for the challenge, you can take it and you can paint very fine little lines. I really liked your last tree there, so I think you're very, very well on your way. I'm really happy to do this all, and I have the feeling I might go to acrylic painting. Don't seem to be very happy with the fact I have to wait for the paint to dry, but we will see. Well, you can actually buy paint accelerants, so there are mediums that make oil painting dry much faster, and it's much more similar to acrylic. So what you could do first is to buy a painting medium that is quick drying, and that should help you along. I think you'll find that acrylic might actually dry too fast. But you're welcome to try both, of course, and see what's best. I haven't really painted much with acrylics, and I can't really say. I enjoy everything. Very, very good. Very good. So you can buy painting mediums that dry much slowly. No, slowly, that's not what you want. Quickly. And in most painting shops, there should be one or two mediums that then says quick drying, and that'll help. What is it? I can get, yes. So at least even in the normal generic hobby shops, there should be painting mediums, you can just ask them there, that then says quick drying. And they will dry a lot quicker. And you will notice that it's a very noticeable effect. And so either buy that online, just a quick drying painting medium, or just ask in the hobby shop or in the artist shop. And that should solve quite a few of those problems. Painting mediums. Well, I call it painting medium. I'm not sure if that's the right term. But it's basically just like your turpentine. So it's a painting thinner, a mixing medium. I have to see how this translates to Bulgarian. Well, there I can't help you much. I can't help you at all. But just say a painting thinner. There's something to mix your paint with. They'll understand what you mean. It's the oil I use. Yes, so it's not the paints. It's what you mix it with, and that's going to determine how quickly or slowly it dries. So it's your mixing medium that you use. Longest time you have taken to complete a piece. Is that a question? I'm assuming. So I've taken some of the earliest paintings that I did. I spent enormous amounts of time on. So maybe 100 hours or more. I can't afford doing that now. And I don't really necessarily need to anymore. But I think like over 150 hours or something. Of course, that's hardly economical and not really possible. But but in the beginning, I spent an enormous amount of time on my paintings. And I learned a lot by doing it. And so the finished product wasn't really the point. Okay, I have to see which one dries faster, and I didn't know they had different drying time. Oh yes, incredibly different drying times. And the temperature and humidity of your room is incredibly important. So if you put your painting in front of the heater, it will dry much, much, much faster than in a cold room. And it's really incredible, the differences. So in a really dry and really warm room, it can dry in a night. And then if it's really cold, it can take 2-3 weeks. So the temperature of your room, the humidity, and the medium, those are the things that have an incredibly strong impact on oil painting. And of course, how thick you paint, that too. So how much paint you use. The more paint, the slower it goes. Well, this is practical. I should probably put this into the into the forum. See, there are some things that I need to. This is very good. It's very good to know the things that are difficult and that might not be that well explained in the course, especially if we make more. So I really appreciate that. Been thinking about, well, it's going to take a while. I really want more people to take the course and go through it before we even contemplate creating the next lessons. We thought we might do snow, for instance, but I'm not sure what people would be most interested in learning. But especially if we do it at this season, at this time, in January or February, then snow might be the best one. And perhaps there are some lessons that still need to be put in there. Maybe I can do a little. My son left fingerprints, but luckily it's on the spot I will paint over. Oh yeah, that happens. I remember some cat paws in one of my paintings. I came the next morning and a cat had just walked across my painting. But that turned into really nice flowers. So there's always something you can do with something like that to try to salvage what you can. Is the painting course a little bit too hard if you haven't painted before? No, so it's designed for complete beginners. So I have added a few things that are a bit more difficult, but that's not something you need. That's especially at the end and so on. And I say that very clearly. So the painting course we designed, even if you've never held a brush before, there's a list of the things that you need, and I go through it step by step, very carefully, and we then paint together, and it's, so it's designed for complete beginners. Susan's daughter, who is, I'm not entirely sure, 8, is doing the course as well. So no, even if you've never held a brush before, we've designed it as the intro course. So the other courses that we will be making will be based upon this one. So this is kind of the entrance into painting. It's perfect for beginners, Krasi says. I was very happy with the list of things I needed to start. Very good. Thank you, Krasi. I'm so glad. Yeah, so we kind of imagined this course as the entry into painting. Not just this way of painting, but painting in general. 7, says very good. Eleni, she's called. And then the courses that we will be making will then be based upon that and be a bit more complicated. And then as a part of the course, you will then become part of the forum, where we chat about all kinds of things, where you can ask me questions, and so anything you struggle with, you can then just ask, and I respond typically as fast as I can, which is usually right away. So anything you struggle with, you can then ask, and I will get and I will explain it. Yeah, so what we imagined is that this is just the beginning of kind of a world that we want to create. Lots of different courses with different themes, with winter and ice and flowers and summer and spring and so on, and they will be themes. So you have the intro course to kind of know the basics, and then those themes will be put as a layer on top. They will be quite a bit cheaper and will kind of add to the knowledge and be more specific. And each course will be on a specific theme. So for instance, snow and so on. Or painting the night, northern lights, stars. But with this course, you should be able to paint an entire painting and kind of perhaps even develop your little own technique and paint lots of different paintings. So we go through kind of techniques to paint trees and trees in general, and you get some specific ones, and the sky and the clouds and the landscape and so on. And the really, really fun part has really been, I hoped it, but it is still somewhat unexpected. It's just the life that the forum has started to take. We are 17 people, I think, now in the forum. And lots of different topics, and people have started befriending one another. And it's just a really nice part of my day to spend time in the forum. And we have one little creative moments and lots of different things that have nothing to do with painting. So I really, really enjoy it. And I hope that's only going to grow. And yeah, as I said, Lena is right now creating the gallery page, where and she's really doing a wonderful job there. So those who want to, this is of course not a requirement, but once you've done with your painting or paintings, you can send them to us, and we're going to have a gallery page on our webpage, where you can have a little link, and in the gallery you can then, your painting are going to be shown off to the world. You paint without reference, right? Yeah, so I never have a reference. I made that very much a strict part of the way I paint, is that I never look at anything while I paint. It sounds a bit rigid maybe, but it's so difficult to free yourself once you start to paint from a reference. And once I realized that I kind of was getting trapped by using a reference, I then just completely stopped. And so I learned things now, for instance, the snowflakes that I'm doing, but I don't look at anything while I paint. And then I just have to rely upon my memory and the things I've learned before. And I mean, it is a bit more difficult, and you have to learn things independently of your painting process. But once you learned painting without a reference, it just frees you up, which is something I really love, because then you can just sit and just paint, and you don't look at anything else, and you can just create your world. But it can be incredibly frustrating at times too, so I get why people would. And people do use references, of course. Thank you, Simon. See, I think we should be through soon. I think I'm gonna let the stream go until 22. So we have 20 minutes more. Let's see, how far along are we? Well, I'm kind of enjoying this. I did want to take a little look at the Northern Lights painting. So you are free to paint with your own flow. Yes, exactly. Path of True Nature joined. Well, welcome to the stream. Nice to see you here. Path of True Nature is also part of our forum. It's nice to see so many of you here. So here we have the Northern Lights, and good evening. Nice to have you here. So let's put this away. So I need green. So what I really wanted to do here is to paint in the colors, and then we can add, let's see, apple green, there we go. So let's just add some green color onto the Northern Lights, and then we can put some trees in the front, I think. A little bit rougher than the one I did, oh, maybe not, let's see. Alright, so this is kind of the main reason why I actually bought the machine. I really wanted to paint the Northern Lights on candle glasses, but it's proved incredibly difficult to do until now. So now I've engraved them. I've just removed the... Yeah, this is engraved. So this is completely engraved. It's just a layer of paint, and then I've engraved it. And now I thought we're just going to add green color to the parts that are engraved. I haven't done any of this before, so this is, as with the other thing, this is just completely new, and let's see. I was just about to ask about the new tool. Yeah, so everything here, everything that shines is engraven. So that was the same with the one that we just looked at. And so all of these candle glasses have been engraved. Welcome to the stream, Rosina. Nice to see you here. It's lovely that so many people are joining. It really does seem to be the best time. Maybe we'll even go a little bit of... Maybe we'll just keep the stream for another hour. Let's see here. Okay, this looks bad. This should be green though. Maybe we need to get a little bit of light on it. The question is even if it needs to be green, but I kind of want the Northern Lights to be green. Let's see here. So as I said, this is completely new to me. And when I do this, of course, it looks not good. Maybe the Northern Lights can be this color. Maybe they should be light blue or something like that. Or maybe we'll just paint some trees in. I might have to do it the other way around. And there might be different ways of doing this. I might just have to paint everything green. So this looks not correct. I will have to figure this out on my own later. Let's just paint the trees, I think, in front of this. So as I said, I'm learning all of this. This is all very new to me. So what I think we can do instead is we're just going to paint some trees in front, like we did, but they can be bigger and actually more detailed. Let's paint some dark birches in front of everything, and let's see just how detailed we can make them. If we'll just get this a bit closer, and we'll get get one of the more pleasing Northern Lights themes. And let's see. So what I had envisioned here are kind of old, gnarly birches. And we're just going to try to make them incredibly detailed and thin branches. I think that might look nice. Wow, painting requires a lot of patience. And you're a master at it. I'm saying, well, thank you. I'm not gonna assume that. Maybe when I'm 60. But it does require quite a bit of patience. That is true. At least this way of painting. I'm sure there are other ways that are not as finicky. So what I really wanted is exactly to really, really, really thin little lines in front of everything. Maybe we can have a little bit of moss on it and just have a kind of this old, gnarly birch trees here. I think that might be a nice effect. We have a lot of these here. The further up you go here in Norway, eventually you only have birches. It's the tree that can grow the furthest up of all trees here. Even being here and listening transfers some of that patience, at least to me. Very good. I'm glad I can transfer a little bit of patience. Yeah, with lots of other things, I'm not necessarily very patient, but with painting, I seem to be. Let's get this to dry a little bit. We can put this over there and then add another tree and then get back to it. So what I want to do is I want to frame the sky with trees. So the older the trees get, the more kind of personality they get, and you can just paint even the same type of tree, from birch for instance here, just in a lot of different ways. And actually especially the further up you go, at least here in Norway, the trees take such a long time to grow that even really small trees can be incredibly old. It's very relaxing and smooth to busy days for me, so thank you. You're very welcome. My favorite tree is a birch. Well, that fits really well here. Yeah, I think these kinds of live streams can be a nice counterweight to the busyness of modern life. Just kind of do everything slowly and patiently and forgetting everything else. I saw only very thin birch trees in the north of Norway. Yeah, or in the very north, they are even smaller and thinner. So those birches that you know from the continent, those are not the kind of birches that grow here. They are very, very small, very, very thin. They can grow incredibly high up and in incredibly rough terrain, where even pine trees can't grow that far up as the birches can. Incredibly resilient. You can see almost entire birch forests sometimes get broken by the snow. But the next year, happily, they just all keep on sprouting from the stem. So this is an almost ridiculous, resilient tree. And I believe the white stem of birches can actually photosynthesize even in the winter. So they're incredibly well adapted to the climate here. I have your birch tree cup earlier today during my practice with the question, how did he do it? All right, with it. Krasi, for those of you who just joined us, Krasi is practicing her trees for the painting course. But she actually has, a birch tree cup, one of my only birch tree cups, at home. So there's something to look at there, I suppose. Yeah, I remember that cup. I painted it after we were traveling around, and I had just looked at all of these old gnarly birches, and I was very inspired, so I painted it. And now in the area we live here, there are lots and lots of them. So where we lived last year, there were just an enormous amount of pine trees, and they kept cropping up everywhere. But here, it's really the birches that are dominating. There actually are almost no pine trees. I think it's the area is too dry and too far up. So while pine trees are kind of a very standard tree, and everyone kind of thinks of the north and Norway and Sweden and so on with pine trees, or fir trees, I'm not entirely sure, that they're Christmassy trees. They don't grow this far up, actually. It was so nice to get it. I enjoy my coffee and it's so much. That's wonderful, Krasi. I'm always so happy when I know where the things that I paint go and that they're appreciated. Good evening, Tamara. Welcome to the stream. Yes, it's such a joy to know that it's being appreciated. I think in the last 2 years, I must have painted over 1,000 different things. So when I just imagine that there are 1,000 homes where there are things that I have painted now, it boggles the mind. I draw with you together. Oh, that is lovely, Francie. Wonderful. That's something I really, really like to hear, that you guys are being creative at the same time as the stream is going. Yeah, I like to think about it as 1,000 different little art galleries all across the world. I think actually we should have, I think we have sold a few things to basically each country in Europe now. And welcome to everyone who's joining the stream now. I kept saying that I was going to stop it at 10, but I don't think I can. It's so nice to have everyone here. So I'm just going to keep going. It's not that often that we have these streams. Even though I'm trying to do them each Sunday, I often can't. So let's just keep this going until there are so many people here. And this is just such a meditative process. Have a nice sleep, Elizabeth. Sleep. Elizabeth, are you... I didn't get that. Are you leaving? I did not see any message. Maybe Cressy knows something I don't. Hope to see you next time too. Did I not see that, Elizabeth? Only battery left here. I have 20% left. So I have to get a nice sleep soon too. Or maybe we can't go as long as I thought. I think we have to keep the schedule of my phone. But it should have at least 10-20 minutes left. I'll say goodbye to you then, Elizabeth. I told you don't get all the messages. That is really annoying. Huh. Well, then, good night to you, Elizabeth. And until next time. It was so nice to have you here. I'm not getting all the messages? I will have to investigate that. If I'm not answering any, and you have written in the... I answer everything that I read here, and I read them out loud. So if I haven't responded to something you've written and I haven't read it out loud, that's because I didn't see it. It's not because I didn't want to. You need a manager. This is true. Do you visit the south sometimes, like around the area you guys used to live at? So I visited Oslo 2 weeks ago, and I'm going back now, because that's where my family lives. And I visited some friends in the summer in Oslo too. So we don't really visit the area we used to live at in Gol, because there isn't anything there really to visit for us. But Oslo I visit. So yeah, I do. Trying again, saying thank you. Thanks for the nice live stream, showing the new tool, Joachim. Hope to see you guys soon. Very good. You're very welcome, and it's so nice to see you here. And thank you for letting me show the tool. And yeah, it was so nice to have you in the live streams. And until next time. Okay, bye, Joachim. I very much enjoy these lives and Lena's videos. They bring peace to my life. Wonderful, Lori. And that is so wonderful to hear. I'm gonna let Lena know that too. And as I said before, she wanted me to give to give you all her best. So that's so nice that the things that we do can bring peace to your lives and yeah, add something good. Till next time. Thank you so much. Bye, everyone. Bye, Elizabeth. Till next time. I think actually my battery seems to be running out. I'll keep going for a little bit more, and then I'm going to be saying goodbye to... I know a good manager. Did you have something in mind, someone in mind, Elizabeth? Maybe yourself? Or is Eleni volunteering? People are joining. This is the difficult thing. People keep joining, and I keep thinking that I should probably be going soon. But it's really difficult when people keep joining the stream. But I think that's just the way it is here in Instagram. People join and leave all the time. So I can't get too stressed by that. Of course, sometimes I just think I should have a live stream that just goes the entire day. But I think, actually, my battery is about to run out, and I really don't want it to just shut down and not being able to say goodbye. That's why try this calm and positive feeling here. That is wonderful. And I hope you've been here for a little while, because I am going to say goodbye. I'm going to wash my brushes now and give everyone a chance to... I'm going to zoom out and give everyone a chance to say goodbye. So I had such a nice time with everyone here now, and I'm looking forward to the next stream. And hopefully I have lots of new candle glasses I can show. So nice to know you and Lena with everything you share. That's wonderful, Cressy. Thank you. Goodbye, Joachim. Goodbye, Tamara. It was so nice to have everyone in the stream. And yeah, I always enjoy the streams. It's so nice to have them and to have you guys here. And Sundays seem to be a good time. So many of you guys can join. Good night. I just joined while brushing my teeth and I'm about to go to sleep. Very good, Rosina. Good night, Lynn. Have a good night, Healing Petra. And Ivuna, thank you for joining. And to Path of True Nature. Earlier next time. I will have one soon. It was so nice to have you guys here. Thank you, Krusty. And thank you, Susan. And thank you, Selene and Francie. It's so nice to slowly but surely get to know you all. And for those of you who are in the forum in the painting course, I look forward to seeing you there. We chat much more, of course. And perhaps I'll go live as well. Very good. And for the... Oh, I lost my paint there, but that's fine. And for everyone else, I will see you in the next live stream. So thank you all, and good night.